Hello, hello, hello. This is Gemma from the Crafty Little Gem. Thank you for joining me today. And today's project is a cauldron. What an absolute fabulous idea for Halloween. So this is my mock-up. A little bit of the Halloween tissue paper and napkins in the top. Great for sweets, or if you're having a party as a present to take to the host. This is not my idea. It is a foreign demonstrator. So I have wrote everything down. I can't remember a name, and I've got some templates so I don't go wrong. I just thought that this was an absolutely fabulous idea. We're going to recreate it today. I've got some retired Stampin' Up DSP, which my daughter will absolutely love. So we've gone for pinks. I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator and I am based here in the UK. Please follow me in recreating this Halloween project. So I'm going to bring my trimmer in, and the first thing we're going to do is we are going to have 2 pieces of A4 card. So in the UK that is 8 1/4 by 11 3/4. So we're going to need 2 pieces of that. I haven't cut my DSP up yet because I'm not sure on how big that wants to be. This is a last minute project that I've just had to do. So on the 11 3/4 side, we're going to score. So get your cutting blade out the way, ladies. We're going to score at 3 3/4, 7 1/2, and 11 1/4. Turn. So on the 8 1/4 side, we are going to score at 3 1/4. Sorry, I'm going to score at 3 1/4. This then becomes the base. 4 1/4. So an inch over. 5 3/4. So that's 1 1/2 over. 6 3/4. Another inch over, and 7 1/2. So then what we're going to do is we have got some scoring to do again. I will bring in, this is the template. If you want to take a screenshot of that, it may help you along the way. This is what is going to be the middle where we're going to put our DSP. I have got a cutting template as well that I'll pop up. I'll pop it up now. See if I can get some white cardstock or a different cardstock just for the back of that. So I've got my white cardstock, and I'll pop the template on top. So if you wanted to take a screenshot of that, you can as well. Anything to help anybody out. There we go. Again, you're going to need 2 of the DSPs down here, look. So your 1 1/4 will be that way, and your 3 1/2 will be that way. So again, we'll go back to the score lines. And I'm actually going to, which way have I done mine? That way. Yep. So, from the bottom to the top, what are we doing? Let me have a look. No, we're going to turn it. So your score line is on your right hand side. Sorry guys. And we're going to score at 1/4 inch. And we are coming, we're scoring to the second score line. So it's going to be a tiny little bit there, look. I'm going to use this side. So take that to 1/4 inch. We're doing it, so we're going to do from, this will be your top, this bigger bit will be your bottom. So this top bit we are taking to the second score line. So we're going to go down to there. This one here, you've got a score line here and a score line here. You're going to, I've got a little groove on mine, and I'm going to just bring it away. The other piece, we're going to score exactly the same, but we're just scoring the larger section. So I'm taking it to the section here and I'm just scoring it away. So that will be our first score line, top and bottom. That's to that one there. And we've just got 2 there, and we've just come down to 2. This might be a longer tutorial, but it will look fantastic, I promise you. The next one we're going to do is going to be at 3.5. So 3.5. So we're going either side of these lines now, and we have the top. So the bigger section is now back to being the bottom. 3.5 with your score. I've got a little line on my score over there. That's why these are so good. You're going to score again that second score line up, this last score line here, and down. We're then going to move it across to 4. So that'll bring us the other side of that score line. We're scoring again partially, them 2 score lines, this 1 score line, and down. And I'll bring that up for you to see, get a better picture there if you can, and there. We're then going to do 7.25. This will take us to the next score line just before it. Again, the same score lines, down 2, then on that last score line, off. And the next one is 7.75. Again, down to the second score line, or start at the second score line and go up this last score line, and I'm bringing it down. And then the last one is at 11, so it's bringing us just before that score line and up, and then from that score line again and down. So all the score lines should be either up to the first score line and down from down to the second score line. Okay. So that's that bit done. We do need to do the same to the other side, but I'm going to show you how to do this one, and then I'll get the other one done off camera, because that's enough of me gabbing. You will need a ruler and your scorer, and then we're just going to bring them score lines in. So again, I will show you on here. We are just bringing them in to that mark there. So you're taking them in to the closest score line, and then you're also doing the same on the bottom, bringing them up to the closest score line there. So again, that's where that score line finishes, and I'm bringing it down to go off the page. This score line I am bringing up. So from here down, from this one down, and you can go across and do each one, and then this one as well, don't leave that one out. Let me just see if I needed to do anything else. Yep, we need to do this one and out across. Okay, so again, we're going to work on the bottom, and we're just bringing them to a point up to the next crossover of score lines, and that one can go out. So then we can go ahead and fold and burnish all of our score lines. So that's that way, and then the score lines that go in from top to bottom just across the 8 1/4 side, and not forgetting that last one there. So the next bit we're going to do is we're going to do some cutting. So bring your scissors in, and I'm going to work from this side. So we're actually going to cut up that score line there. So I've got the other score line within that section, and we're going to cut that away. Turn it over, because then this score line that we've got here, we're going to go up vertically and cut that, and then we're actually going to move that out of there to create a little arrow. We're doing the same on this top bit, so we're going to create, just taking that triangle away from there, and then this one we're actually cutting just to that second score line and cutting them away, and then these we are going to cut further in and just do little tiny wedges. There's one little tiny wedge in there, and then we can just chop that top bit away there. So again, I'll bring in the white card. That is what your connecting edge should look like. You can then go and fold and crease all of these partial score lines. Excuse me. And push them out of the way. Bring in that again. So I'm actually going to cut up that score line there and cut up that score line there. So we're removing that piece completely. So when you bring it out, you'll have a big gap. And then what you're going to do is, so you've cut up that side, you're going to carry on and you're going to cut up that side of the triangle. You can then fold that out of the way, so that will then glue at an angle like so. We're going to repeat it on this one. Cut up this one, cut up this one, move the bottom two pieces out of the way, trim that off, bring that in. You've cut up that edge, you've cut up that edge at an angle. You're going to cut up exactly the same edge at an angle on the next piece, and then we can fold and get that bit out the way. So that will then become your tab. So it's like a little arrow. This last one, we're just going to cut out of the way completely. So I'll use my bigger scissors. We're going to cut up. Just going to double check. Yep. Cutting that one way completely. So that is what you have for the bottom. For the top, so we're going to turn it round. You'll still be able to see your score lines and everything. We're going to, because we want to copy this on each one of these, and then we're also cutting this one away at the edge. So you're going to cut down two, and you're going to cut down them two. You're going to remove this tiny little bit here. So we're removing a tiny bit there. You're then going to come in and mirror, sorry, I'm turning it round, mirror that side there and cut down to that angle. So that will then be a tab. And then again, we want these two to be tabs. So we're going to cut down and a tab. And then we're just going to cut a little V out of that one. And then a little bit of the top on that one. So again, I'll hold that right up to the camera. That's what you should have on all of the top bits. We're going to repeat it on this last one here. So it doesn't matter whether you've got your score line this way or that way for your tab on the end. As long as you do both pieces exactly the same, you'll be absolutely fine. We're going to cut down there, cut to that angle, cut that tiny bit in the middle away. I'm going to use my smaller scissors for that bit. Turn it round, cut a little wedge in above that angle and wedge out and the top bit. And this bit here, we're just going to snip it all away from that straight edge. And that is what it should look like. Get rid of all that. So I'm going to get on and do the second one exactly the same. You should have two pieces that look exactly the same as each other, and I will be back. Hello, so we are back, and I have gone and cut and scored and I've actually added the DSP. I'll go through that again. That needs to measure 3.5 by 1.25, and you will need 6 pieces. And then we can start actually building our cauldron. So first of all, we're going to attach the 2 pieces together. So we're actually going to run our glue along there. I'm leaving the top one out for now, and you'll find out later. So I'm just going to bring up to where I've put my glue, 2 arrows, a rectangle, and then a tiny tab at the top. I'm going to line up my middle section first, because your arrows will end up going in the same direction. And then what we're actually going to do is bring up them sections and then up to that one, so they all measure, they all line up with the score line. You're going to do the same on the bottom, just bring them 2 in. It is a bit fiddly, but you'll get there. Bring that one in at that angle and glue and secure. Make sure they're all secure and in place. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take that tab at the top, we're going to fold that one back. We're not gluing this end because we want to pop that one in, and then we're going to fold that one under. So a little bit of glue on the other side of that one, and then we can just fold that one over so it's folding towards you, and have that in place like so. Make sure everything's lined up, and then we can move on to the next one. Glue on that side on your arrow, bring that one in, and then lay that one down. So you're getting your nice angle here, and then straight up. Bring that one down, fold that in, pop a bit of liquid glue on there, fold that over so everything's really nice and tight. And then you can move on to your next one. Again, glue on that arrow, a little bit on the inside there, line that up and line your top bit up so they are together. Fold that one over, a little bit of glue on the outside of there, and then fold that one in. To secure them into place. Take your time, make sure all of the tabs on the inside are flat and together. And then you're going to go around the whole box again. We can join this end first. When you get to this section, line them up on that folded line. And then just carry on as normal. Bit of glue on that top. I'm trying to do it all in one. Doesn't necessarily work when you do it that way. Hold it all together so it grabs. And just repeat going round the box. I've only got 2 more to do. Make sure, I don't think I've pushed that score line in properly. There we go. Make sure all your score lines are burnished. Go back in with your glue. Get on that score line. And on that score line, push that tab in. Glue on that tab. And fold that over. Lining everything up. So we've just got the last one to do here. Again, make sure your score lines are folded. Glue on each one of those. And that one should really just slot in to join them up nicely, and that is the shape of the top of your cauldron. Like so. So we're actually going to do these, we're going to do the same thing, glue on those and bring them in. So on your little arrow, we're now working on the bottom and bringing them to that score line across on that one. Do the next one. Make sure they line up nicely. Tombow glue does dry clear, which is absolutely fab. And all we're doing is gluing those into place to create the shape of the bottom. And we've got 2 more to do. So that one on that score line there. You can see where my glue's just seeping out slightly, so hopefully that's a little bit of help of where you're putting it. And then on the last one, just in there, and bring that at that angle and hold that into place. The top bit of mine's coming undone slightly. Like so. So then you're going to fold back really gently on that score line, and we're going to start gluing these on top of each other. So a little bit of glue there for them two. Don't pull them in, just let them sit where they want to go. So I'm actually going to do a little bit of glue on that side and have that one over, and then glue there and glue on this corner here to give it some more support. You can then line them up. You've then got this one, so we can put glue in that sort of section. You don't want it here because you don't want to get any glue in that whole bit. You can then bring that one to meet that one and turn it over and make sure it's squished down like so. And then what you can do is you should just go back around the top, especially if you use liquid glue. You can just go back around the top and just tap down where anything's come up or loose. I'm going to add a little bit of glue on this side because it just doesn't want to go for some reason. Probably because I've been messing about too much. These would be great for a little goodie box for your kids. Fill them with sweets and a little colouring book and some goodies. Okay, so I'm just going to see in my jar if I've got some clips, which I have. And I'm just going to tack that into place. And I'm actually going to do it on all four of them corners just to make sure that they're just going to set. Last one. There. Just while we're then going to finish off. So then you can pick whatever side you like. I quite like it that I've got a little, probably full figure there. And I've got some of our Stampin' Up ribbon. And I think I'm going to go with both. I can't make my mind up, so I'm going to go with both. And all I'm going to do is pick the front bit that I want the front, which is that. I'm going to have that round the back. I'm not cutting anything off yet. And I'm going to tie a knot. I know I'm making this look a lot more difficult than what it is. You can decorate it up however you like. I'm going to then snip off, not a lot from that one, because I've been using that loads. Love this ribbon. I'm going to snip a bit off from that one. And then I'm going to do a bow. I can then come in, snip them off as I want it to be. So really there isn't a lot that I've actually cut off, but I can actually use that just as do a little bow on something else. So that is my little cauldron. They should be dry by now. I'll bring the other one in. So you can take this and pop it in there. And then fill it up with some little goodies. Now, how good is that? I love it. And I will be making loads and loads more. Thank you for staying with me. I know it was quite a big project this time. I hope you have a go. I hope you press the subscribe button. It really does help my channel, and I shall see you for the next one. Bye bye for now.